This is the Radio 1 News Update for November 9th. I'm Lady Mariam. In local news, voter registration has fallen far behind schedule over the past 2 weeks, with enrollment dropping to just 30,000 a day from a target of 100,000, according to official figures, leaving more than 2 million Cambodians at risk of not registering to vote in time. The new National Election Committee has been working since September 1st to re-register people as it rebuilds the national voter list from scratch ahead of the important commune council elections next year. With about 6.8 million people registered and 23 days of enrollment remaining, the recent average of about 30,000 people per day would only allow the NEC to register about 7.5 million people by November 29th, well short of the 9.6 million objective. 35 ethnic minority representatives delivered a petition bearing 555 thumbprints to the Mondulkiri provincial governor, asking him to replace the director of the Rural Development Department because he wasn't serving the best interests of ethnic minorities. For example, ethnic minorities had organized celebrations for World Indigenous Peoples Day 6 years running, and each time Sarom, the director, had allegedly tried to restrict their activities. For the most recent celebration on August 9th, they weren't allowed to march on the streets or host a photo exhibition, but were only allowed to pray. A Cambodian delegation arrived in Morocco for the start of the COP22 International Climate Change Conference, armed with reasons why the country should receive international funding to fight global warming. A 100-year-old rosewood tree felled by the Apsara Authority after it was found partially cut was impounded by the Forest Administration in Siem Reap, with forestry officials and an activist questioning the necessity of the move. The Apsara Authority, which manages the Angkor Archaeological Park, said it cut down the 90-centimeter thick tree after finding it partially sawn into by others. On its Facebook page, the authority said it removed the tree to prevent it from falling on pedestrians and to ensure that illegal loggers did not succeed in taking the endangered and valuable wood. But the Siem Reap Forestry Administration said that it wasn't necessary to fell the tree because the cut was only 15 centimeters deep. The tree was at the center of a site of local worship. The Phnom Penh police deployed a camera-equipped drone to inspect a wooded area where 2 suspected thieves fled after allegedly killing a military police officer in Por Senchai district, but were unable to find the suspects. I find this absolutely cool that we are using drones in our police work. You know, I really hope we make a technology leap in the forensic science department as well. In regional news, Islamic militants who specialize in kidnapping for ransom have reported killing a German sailor and abducting her elderly male companion from their yacht off the southern Philippines. A commander from the Abu Sayyaf group, which has earned millions of dollars by kidnapping foreigners and killed others after ransom demands were not met, claimed responsibility for the latest incidents. China adopted a controversial cybersecurity law on Monday to counter what Beijing says are growing threats such as hacking and terrorism. But the law triggered concerns among foreign businesses and rights groups. Overseas, critics of the law say it threatens to shut foreign technology companies out of various sectors deemed critical and includes contentious requirements for security reviews and for data to be stored on servers in China. In international news, Iraqi Kurdish fighters exchanged heavy fire with militants as they entered a town held by the Islamic State group east of Mosul. While troops advanced south of the city, discovered a mass grave containing some 100 decapitated bodies. Australia will find another country to resettle hundreds of asylum seekers now held on poor Pacific islands. The government plans to banish for life refugees that arrive by boat. Immigration Minister Peter Dutton declined to identify countries with which Australia is negotiating to accept almost 1,300 asylum seekers from Africa, the Middle East, and Asia who are kept at Australia's expense in camps at Nauru and Papua New Guinea. He said, quote, "We have been in negotiations with third countries for a long period of time, and we are going to land a deal." In business news, rapid economic growth and internal migration are driving the demand for domestic money transfer services. Wing pioneered the mobile money transfer model here in 2008 and has expanded its line of financial services, while growing its network of agents to over 5,000 nationwide. Starting in late 2014, however, the company has faced competition from a growing list of rival networks that includes eMoney, True Money, Asia We Lui, AMK Money Transfer, and Lihua Pay Pro. China appointed a new finance minister who is expected to maintain an expansionary fiscal policy and push reforms to put a lid on rising debt levels in the economy. Zhao Ji, a former tax chief and Ministry of Finance deputy minister, was named Minister of Finance. The reshuffle is expected to have little impact on fiscal policy, which is expected to be supportive in 2017, as the government leans more on increased spending and tax cuts to support growth. HSBC shares rallied in a positive response to quarterly profit results after the British banking giant underwent a radical cost-cutting exercise. In the 3 months to September, its adjusted pre-tax profit, which strips out one-off items and unfavorable currency movements, rose 7% from a year earlier to $5.59 billion US dollars, beating analysts' expectations. It's Independence Day. November 9th is Independence Day in Cambodia. The French Protectorate of Cambodia formed a part of the French colonial empire in Southeast Asia. It was formed in the year 1867 when Norodom, the Cambodian king, desired to establish a French protectorate over his country. In 1887, Cambodia was incorporated into the French Indochina Union. It was granted independent rule within the French Union in 1946 and abolished its protectorate status in 1949. Later on, it attained its freedom on the 9th of November, 1953. Major celebrations are organized in Phnom Penh. The day starts with a morning ceremony at the Independence Monument presided over by the king. Later on, a gala parade is arranged in front of the royal palace with vibrant floats as well as marching bands. The shops and streets are decorated with national flags. And finally, a gala display of fireworks is also arranged close to the riverbanks of the royal palace. This has been the Radio 1 News Update. Stay tuned for more news on Radio 1 FM 103.7.